What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to the old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Juventus won a match in the Champions League 3-0, completely dominated a underwhelming Malmo squad. But my hardest struggle today will be keeping this video to less than 20 minutes long. Can I do it? We'll find out now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today it's September 14th, 2021, and we're looking back at the match that was Malmo Juventus, the 3-0 victory for the away team, and then also the performances of those players and what they really brought to the table for Juve. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because I know I'm long-winded and these videos go on forever. But anyway, before we do anything, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also leave a comment in the comment section down below if you're a Juventus fan or if you're a fan of another team and how you got to the channel anyway. So let's go ahead and let's just get started now. So, the very first player that we have for you is Wojciech Chesney, the goalkeeper for Juventus. I gave him a 6 overall rating. When I say this, okay, 6 is my overall lowest rating that I feel like I really gave for today. I think today it was a dominant performance by Juventus against an underwhelming opponent, but they actually looked like a dominant team compared to, or let's say this. They looked like they did what they should have done to a team that they should be doing to Empoli, to Udinese, whatever have you, and they actually did that. They're, Malmo more than likely is worse than almost any other team in the Serie A, even if they're a Champions League team, even if they're better when it comes to the Swedish clubs. That's just me being honest. Okay, like I said, focus, Justin. Let's keep it going. But anyway, what I have here is I gave Wojciech Chesney a 6, mainly because overall he had a solid performance, kept a clean sheet. But I'd say for the first, I don't know, maybe 60 minutes of the game overall, he really was pretty unchallenged. There really wasn't a lot going on. You can say that a lot for his defenders and the product that they brought to the field, as well as some of it was his performance. I really gave him more credit at the end of the match where he made some solid stops, shook off a little bit of that rust that he's been having. So I gave him a 6 overall. That was my performance that I think that he really gave overall. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Next, we'll move to our boy Danilo, and this is again one of those situations. You know what? I think overall what I would say is I didn't hear a lot of Danilo's name called today, which to me, for a defender, that's a good thing. That means that they weren't getting a lot of pressure on Juventus's defense. The attack wasn't really doing a lot. They weren't able to create a lot for Malmo. So Danilo overall, whenever I say it's a player that maybe I forgot a little bit about, this is in a positive sense. Because he's a defender, he wasn't there getting beat left and right. I think overall, actually, Malmo had 9 shots on goal, if you actually watch the match. 9 shots, or no, sorry. Not 9 shots on goals. They had 9 shots overall. I think 2 of those were block shots. I want to say 1 of those was a shot on target. And then the other 6 were shots off target overall. So not too bad by the defense, really shutting it down and not making Tech work too hard overall. So I gave Danilo a 6.5. We move on. And then we have Leonardo Bonucci, the not really captain, but let's not kid ourselves. I think Bonucci is the captain over Dybala, even if Dybala wears the armband. Allegri, fight me. That's what we have. I gave Leonardo Bonucci a 6.5. And that uncomfortable smile he's giving me right now, it looks like I told him that I gave him a 6.5 overall. He's content with that. He's good. Again, like I said, the defense overall was solid and really held down an underwhelming Malmo attack. De Ligt was the only one that, and again, this may not be fair, but let me know your thoughts. Maybe you disagree with my personal opinion. But I gave De Ligt a 6. I think he had a couple instances where he either got beat a couple times by his man, and there were a couple times where he looked a little bit out of sorts overall, but nothing bad. When I say a 6 is not bad. It's just, to me, when you get one of those higher ratings overall when it comes to Juve, you have to really have done a lot more. You have to go above and beyond. He had a couple times where he was a little bit out of sorts. That's why I gave him a 6 overall. He was pulled after 87 minutes. Honestly, if you're playing that long, why not just let him finish it out? I don't understand that at all. Also, one thing that I do want to say, even though I gave him a 6, again, not bad, but what I will say is, like, make sure that our boy's getting playing time, Allegri. I do worry about the future. There is rumbling And I feel like maybe some of that rumbling is from me just thinking it personally, than there actually is real truth to it. But I'd worry about his future with Juventus if he doesn't get proper playing time. Because, yeah, there are a lot of old guys that are getting playing time above him. I really like the idea of doing I don't want to say, I guess, a rotation, just a regular rotation of, Bonucci, Chiellini. Then the next one you got Chiellini, De Ligt. After that, you got De Ligt, Bonucci, and then so on, and keep rotating so those guys are all getting equal play. Just my thought. Then we got Alexandro, who, honestly, to me, he was my player of the match. I gave him a 7.5. A lot of the reasons I gave him a 7.5 was he came early on and he gave maximum effort. That's what we'll say. He gave a maximum of effort, which is a lot of what I when I say great on. Here's what I mean. Here locally, a lot of the words that we use are hustle, grinta, whatever you want to call it. It's basically all the same thing. But my guy was showing hustle from the very beginning. He was attacking. He had that header that went over. He missed that one, but then he came up good in the first goal of the match. After that, kept attacking. You could probably say, I think he had another header that just went wide after that one. What I would say is overall, that's what I want. That's what I want to see from these guys. I want to see you keep going in. I don't want to see you afraid to attack and to go for scoring and to have these opportunities. Alexandro actually showed that he had balls today. We'll say that he had balls. Overall, that's what I would say. Could have had a brace, but overall, very impressed with his performance overall, especially given, I'm not the kindest when it comes to Alexandro and his performances. I can be a little bit harsh, but overall, I was very happy with what I saw from Alexandro. He gets my man of the match. Our next guy is actually another guy that we could have argued that he could have gotten it as well. I know who actually got, or when I say actually, there's another guy who got the man of the match by UEFA. We'll talk about that later. I don't fully agree. But anyway, my other option that could have been my man of the match is our next boy, and that's Juan Quadrado. I gave him a 7 overall. Performance, exactly what I expect from Juan Quadrado. Creating for his teammates. Consistently, he set up Alexandro for that first score of the match. Always attacking. Always thinking about, ways that he can create for his teammates. Only negative that I really could give for him was there were a couple times that he looked a step slow in one-on-one situations. When he had to do a one-on-one take on, there was that one moment at the end of the match where I feel like he could have had an easy shot on goal, potentially to score, because we've seen Quadrado do it before. But he kind of he took a step back, and I feel like he took a moment to breathe or two, and then that's what kind of just let the attack collapse overall. Tried to pass it on. It got taken away. Killed the momentum. Not that they really needed it. You're up 3-0. But again, would like to see a little more pizzazz on that to finish it. Let's move on. We've got Tonker, and I gave him a 6 rating. Again, 6 is not a bad rating. Yes, it's my lowest rating that I give collectively throughout this, because I think the team as a whole was solid. I think they were pretty good. Honestly, though, the best way I could describe Tonker was average to above average. Nothing really stuck out to me. Nothing really too negative, but overall wasn't super impressed with his performance. He was what I would say is serviceable. Does that make sense? Also, let me know. I'm trying to shorten this video up a lot. So let me know in the comment section down below if you want maybe more statistics, all that thrown out like I used to do. I could give you all the rundown of, you can look it up easily. But of course, if you want me to give you the, assists, possession loss, etc. and all that, I can do that in future videos. Let me know what you prefer in the comment section down below. But I'm going to kind of go about it my way in doing this time to try to keep the video shorter and easier for everybody to watch. Anyway, that did not do that, though, when I'm talking. All right. Next up was my boy, Manuel Locatelli. I gave him a 6.5. I'll be honest. We probably could have gone a little bit lower. We could have gone with a 6. He was a bit underwhelming compared to past performances. Let's say that. He was good. He was solid. He did lose possession a little bit more often than I would have liked. What I will say is, I think he had lost 11 possessions. I want to say what it was. Anyway, the one thing that I'll say about Manuel Locatelli is I have a higher bar for him. So I expect a little bit more of him. So maybe a 6 would have been what I probably should have given him, just because that's what I expect more out of him for for what he's bringing to the team. He is our top tier midfielder. Not hard to do when you look at what else are gone. When we're being honest. But a lot of times, I guess those bonus points that it really could come from him were really just that he's so smooth with the ball, with his touches, with moving it around. That's one of the good things that I really like about him. He definitely knows how to move the ball, move it downfield. Main problem today for me was that when he did move the ball downfield, he was less than accurate than he usually is. Usually he can, he's not afraid to attack. He gets into just, I don't want to say a danger zone, but you know what I mean? He puts the other team on their heels, and he usually gets it in range of somebody right in there, like drop it on a dime. This time he didn't really do that. He kind of struggled a little bit getting it together overall, but I did see a bonus and a positive overall with him and his play or the midfield's play overall. I said overall a lot, so I need to cut down on that. Adrian Rabiot was another one. He had some moments. He had a couple breakaways, a couple of things where he would try to create, and he, would start developing plays for Juventus. The one thing I would say, again, I gave him a 6, which is the average score. The average, not bad, just an average score overall compared to everybody else. The midfield still has a long way to go. Adrian Rabiot still has a long way to go, and the reason I say that is because I've noticed a fluctuation of Rabiot. The last 3 seasons, he starts out low, and he goes up by the end of the season. And you're like, this is a guy. This is a solid guy. Then he goes back down for the next season beginning, and then goes back up by the end of the season. Right now, I feel like we may be at a bit of a, not a plateau, but yeah, maybe it's a plateau. Is a plateau up? Plateau's at high, right? Anyway, he's at a base right now. And he's going to come back up, I feel like. Throughout the season, I feel like Allegri's going to be able to get more out of him. Rabiot's definitely become he's become a solid piece to Juventus' midfield. To me, one of the better options. The second overall to Manuel Locatelli. I would like to see what can happen going in the future with Locatelli, Artur, and Rabiot. Threesome. There you go. Threesome in the midfield going forward. Yeah, I said that. All right. And then after that, we got our boy Paulo Dybala. I give him a 6.5. And now this is the guy that UEFA named as the man of the match. Maybe I missed something. Maybe he was doing a lot more, creating more. There were moments where he had that heel flick to set up Morata near the in the second half for that potential goal that panned out. Overall, I thought he was solid. I think he was very good. He had the penalty that he scored. But overall, I expect more out of Paulo Dybala. The same way that I held Ronaldo to standards when he was with Juventus. Dybala is not Ronaldo, obviously. But at the same time, I expect more out of the top tier player. The player who Juventus says they're going to build around. To be the future of the club. To be the future, the big striker. The top tier striker of Juventus. I expect that out of Dybala. He was not that for me today. He was fine. He was suitable. But to me, he was a little bit above average. Nothing significant enough that I would have given him the player of the match title, if you will. But let me know if I was wrong, if I missed something, if you all saw something that really stuck out about Paulo Dybala's play today. Let me know in the comment section down below, and then I'll just ignore it. No, but I'll listen to it, and I'll hear the criticism. After that, though, we have now the boy Alvaro Morata. And Morata, I gave him a 7 overall. I liked what I saw from Morata. I feel like he gets a lot of hate. And I want to talk about this. I know hopefully I'm not swayed too much by my affinity for Morata. I tend to like players that end up getting more hate than they feel like they deserve. Like I said, I've fallen off that train now. But I used to protect Federico Bernardeschi more than he probably deserved. But Morata, I think, is better than a Federico Bernardeschi. He's a scorer. He may not light up any, I don't want to say stat sheets, but he doesn't light up your eyes when you watch him play. Like there's nothing explosive about his play, but he gets the job done. He scores goals. Was able to score a goal today. Could have had more. I wish he would have had more. Really would have helped to get his confidence up, especially in a match like this. But there were some moments though where I did have to maybe. I don't want to say dog points because a lot of times he rated out almost as high as Alexandro did in a lot of statistical categories. So that was good to see. But I had to dock him a bit because of those moments, like I said, the heel flick that Dybala delivered to him that he just couldn't finish. I know it's a chip shot he chipped in there, but at the same time, you've got to be able to put a little bit more force, a little more zip on that ball to try to at least challenge the goalkeeper instead of just delivering it right to him and easy to grab, with his hands. That was my personal opinion when it comes to Morata. 7 is his score. And then we got the American, Westin McKinney. and I guess 5.5 is my lowest rating, not 6. I gave him a 5.5. Really nothing terrible that Westin McKinney did, but I was going through my rating categories. He didn't play long enough. Obviously, he only played, 22 minutes really overall. So the reason I really gave him a 5.5 was because I had to sit back and look at the score sheet. And when I'm looking at these guys, I know I said 6 earlier, ignore me, guys. I looked at the score sheet of what we had, and I gave all these other guys 6s for the average. And I just felt like it wasn't fair to give Westin McKinney the same score because he didn't play nearly as long in the match. He didn't nearly have the opportunity for, to create or to have as many mistakes as some of the other guys did. 5.5 overall was fine. Again, average score, very average play. But again, he didn't have enough time to do much. There are a couple chances he got to attempt to either score or to set up Wojciech Chesney and him work together well. But in the end, nothing. I don't want to say nothing came of it, but you know what I mean. Didn't have enough time to really contribute exactly what he was looking for. But 5.5 is a fine score. Hopefully, my boy Westin McKinney, my compatriot, if you will get his head together and be able to be a solid contributor for Juventus before the January transfer market starts to heat up. Then I gave our last player. I mean, there were a couple more. I mean, Aaron Ramsey came in and Kulusevski, but they played for like less than 10 minutes. There's no way I can rate those guys. Wojciech Chesney, I gave him a 6. Much, much better than the performance that he had against Napoli. Of course, Napoli came in for the final minutes, like 10 minutes. Lost that match for Juventus. I mean, it wasn't just his fault, but it was setting up. Anyway, I don't need to rehash what happened Sunday or Saturday. We're trying to move on from this now. But anyway, he did some nice things. He and Westin McKinney, as soon as they were injected into the game, tried to create something. Almost got a goal out of it. He did score a goal, but he was offsides later on after that one. And then at the end, he tried to, it would have been a beautiful assist from Kulusevski to him to set up for the goal. Fortunately, he wasn't able to finish on that, but I liked what I saw. I saw that killer mentality, which is what Juventus needs from a striker that they're going to have. One thing that I thought was interesting. Am I talking too fast? I'm trying to talk too fast. Timing is getting close, so let's see if I can wrap this up. Basically, what I would say overall is I like the killer instinct of what he had and what he was doing there. Hopefully to see him develop more, especially if he's going to be able to be maybe that potential, step up number 9. Because one thing I noticed, Juventus doesn't seem keen to use him on the wings. Keen, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Moise Kean, yeah, I get it. Anyway, but they don't seem too keen to use him on the wings, especially when they could have substituted him for there. So I like what I see. I like to see that they're actually trying to position him as a striker and to use him in that role between him and Morata going forward. That'll be interesting. Hopefully he can really instill himself there and start actually racking up some goals now throughout the season. And then finally, the final score I have the game of the day to give to you is the coach, the head of the team, Massimiliano Allegri. I gave him a 6 overall rating, mainly because I think some solid things there, put together a decent game plan, got some guys some playing time that needed to play, but overall, it was a victory against Malmo, a victory you should have received, but also I understand Udinese, Empoli, they don't always come easy, even when they should be cakewalks, honestly, for Juventus, the money they pour into it, and the players that they have. I gave him a 6 overall rating, solid, keep this up. Let's find a way to get this done against Milan on Sunday. We need a bounce back. Juventus needs to start getting points in the Serie A, but isn't bad when we have some success in Champions League. I know a lot of you guys will be excited about that. Anyway, those are my ratings for today. Please let me know your thoughts on each and every one if you really want, or at least the ones that you thought that I maybe was wrong about, or that you'd adjust, however you say. Also, let me know your thoughts on the man of the match one, or the player of the match, man of the match, whatever you want to call it. Was I wrong, in my opinion, of giving it to Alexandro or Juan Quadrado over Paulo Dybala? Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter, and also follow my boy Julian Gianotti as Gianotti151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.